have no ill feelings whatsoever with Keith, none. He allowed us to have a way in this business, you know what I'm saying?
When you get to that kind of situation or that point in your career, you have to step back and, reconform a few things and actually try and become better and see how you can become better.
Financial issues, unfair contracts, and internal conflicts that was the recipe to Kut Klose's downfall. Let's dive into some real talk about one of the dopest R&B groups from the 90s that should have blown up bigger than they did. Kut Klose. These ladies had it all: Tabitha Duncan, Athena Cage, and LaVon Battle. They were mad talented, had the looks, and were backed by the R&B king himself, Keith Sweat. But despite all that, the industry chewed them up and spat them out. Let's break down why they fell off the map.
Don't be afraid, baby.
First off, Kut Klose got played by the industry hard. They signed a 7-album deal that turned out to be straight trash. Kut Klose was riding high off their initial success, but the music industry ain't no fairy tale. Their downfall began when they got tangled up in some shady business practices that would make any artist's blood boil. You see, after dropping their debut album, Surrender, and gaining traction with hits like I Like, things should have been smooth sailing. But nah, it was far from that. Keith Sweat had a heavy hand in their careers, and while that initially seemed like a blessing, it soon turned into a curse. The ladies signed a 7-album deal with Keith's label, but the contract was more like a trap than a golden ticket. They were young and eager, probably not fully aware of the industry's cutthroat nature. And Keith? Well, he didn't exactly go out of his way to protect their interests. Their lawyer, who was supposed to have their backs, turned out to be just another industry insider playing both sides. The group ended up signing a contract that bundled their recording and publishing deals into one, a move that cost them big time. They gave up their publishing rights for a measly $1. Yup, you read that right. $1 damn. That's basically giving away your future earnings for free. Tabitha was always beefing with Keith Sweat about their money situation, but nothing changed.
I have no ill feelings whatsoever with Keith, none. He allowed us to have a way in this business, you know what I'm saying?
Keith was all about Athena, showing her mad favoritism, which just made everything worse between the group members.
I surely will.
Even though they had hits like I Like and killed it on Keith's track Twisted, the drama was non-stop. As if that wasn't bad enough, the group started facing internal issues. Athena Cage was being pushed to the forefront, creating friction within the trio. Keith took Athena on tour with him, leaving Tabitha and LaVon in the dust. This favoritism led to jealousy and distrust. Then came the bombshell. The label wanted to rebrand the group as Athena Cage featuring Kut Klose. Imagine the betrayal Tabitha and LaVon must have felt hearing that. The final nail in the coffin came when Keith's management allegedly tried to replace Tabitha and LaVon with new members without their knowledge. Athena was supposedly in on the plan, meeting with potential replacements behind their backs. It's no wonder their second album never saw the light of day. By the time their contract expired around 2003, the damage was done. The ladies had been stuck in a bad deal, unable to release new music or tour effectively. They were forced to get regular jobs to make ends meet, their dreams of stardom seemingly out of reach. They were dealing with the harsh reality of being chewed up and spit out by an industry that promised them the world and gave them scraps. Alright, let's rewind and get into the deets of Kut Klose's rise before all the drama hit the fan. These girls were straight fire from the start. Kut Klose came together in Atlanta in '93. You had Tabitha Duncan from Muskegon, Michigan, Athena Cage from Russellville, Kentucky, and LaVon Battle from Birmingham, Alabama. They were like a perfect storm of talent and ambition.
When you get to that kind of situation or that point in your career, you have to step back and, reconform a few things and actually try and become better and see how you can become better.
Tabitha, the preacher's kid from a massive family of 15 children, was all about breaking free from her strict upbringing. She moved to Atlanta with her much older boyfriend, who was tight with music legends like Babyface. This connection was golden because it eventually led her to Keith Sweat. Tabitha wanted to create a girl group that could take on the big names, inspired by the success of TLC.
Love it when you lay my body down.
With the help of a friend, she connected with Athena, who had already been doing background vocals for big names like the Isley Brothers and Amy Grant. When Athena auditioned for Tabitha, it was game over. Athena was in. Levon was the last piece of the puzzle, flying out to Atlanta with her manager to audition. Levon brought that church-grown, soulful vibe, having grown up with parents in gospel groups, but always having a rebellious streak for secular music. Their early days were all about finding their sound and their look. Initially, they were an urban contemporary gospel group called Nubian 3, but hooking up with Keith Sweat changed everything. Keith saw the potential for a more mainstream R&B act and started molding them into the sexy, sleek trio that would become Kut Klose. When they first got together, they had a different vibe going. They wanted to do something more urban contemporary gospel. But then Keith Sweat stepped in and flipped the script.
And I like the way you squeeze me. Come on and touch me.
He saw the potential for something big in the R&B game, and that's when Kut Klose started their transformation into the sexy R&B trio we remember. Keith didn't discover them, but he sure did play a huge role in putting them on the map. He signed them to his imprint, KIA Records, under Elektra Records, and they were ready to take over. Their first big break came when they were featured on Keith's track, Get Up On It, in '94. The song was a hit and got them some major exposure. By '95, Kut Klose dropped their debut album Surrender, and their single I Like became a top 40 hit. These girls were everywhere, and it looked like nothing could stop them. I Like hit number 34 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 8 on the Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart. They were even featured on another one of Keith's biggest hits, Twisted, which shot to number 1 on the R&B charts. But behind the scenes, things weren't so rosy. The label, the management, and even Keith himself were more focused on pushing Athena to the forefront, causing serious friction. During the recording of their second album, management started acting shady, trying to replace Tabitha and Levon with new members and featuring Athena solo on tracks. Their session with Missy Elliott was supposed to be the start of something big, but it ended up being a disaster. The label only wanted Athena's voice, making Tabitha and Levon feel like they were just extras in their own group. This favoritism and constant sidelining led to massive tension, and before long, the group started to fall apart. The industry politics, the shady deals, and the internal beefs all contributed to Kut Klose's downfall. They had everything they needed to succeed, but the game they were playing was rigged against them from the jump.
I'm Athena.
And I'm Tabitha.
And I'm Levon.
And we are Kut Klose.
Fast forward to the present day, and let's see what's popping with Kut Klose. Despite all the drama and setbacks, these ladies didn't just disappear into obscurity. Nah, they've been hustling to keep their dreams alive and their voices heard. After their contract expired, each member went on to pursue their own path. Tabitha Duncan, the preacher's kid from Muskegon, Michigan, focused on fitness and acting. She's a single mom now, raising 2 daughters and sharing her fitness journey on social media. Tabitha didn't let the industry's BS break her. Instead, she turned it into fuel for her passion projects. Lavon Battle, the Birmingham native, has been guiding her daughter in the music industry. Lavon's roots in gospel music and her rebellious streak against the norm have shaped her into a resilient mentor. She's been laying low but making moves behind the scenes, ensuring her daughter doesn't fall into the same traps she did. Athena Cage, the voice that was always in the spotlight, established the Athena Cage Scholarship Fund at her alma mater, Western Kentucky University. She even got a street named after her in her hometown of Russellville, Kentucky, Athena Cage Way. Talk about making a mark. Athena's been busy working as a Grammy mentor, traveling across the country to promote music education and inspire the next generation of artists. In 2010, Kut Klose teased their fans with a new track, Let It Ring, released on iTunes. It seemed like the start of a long-awaited comeback, but no full album materialized, leading to another hiatus. Despite the setbacks, the trio kept their bond strong. In December 2020, they dropped Congratulations, their first new song in over a decade.
I salute to every woman one that's been pushing for something.
Followed by a collab with 90s R&B group H-Town called Lose Control in March 2021. These ladies are determined to prove they're more than just Keith Sweat's backup singers. They've launched a GoFundMe campaign to raise $100,000 for a new album, showing they're ready to take control of their narrative. As of now, they've raised a little over $2,600, but their drive and passion are undeniable. Kut Klose continues to tour, reminding everyone that they've got talent, style, and the resilience to make a major comeback. They're not just a footnote in Keith Sweat's career, they're an essential chapter in the story of 90s R&B. So, stay tuned, because Kut Klose is on a mission to reclaim their place in music history, one note at a time. Stay locked in with us, subscribe now, and turn on those notifications so you're the first to know when we drop new videos. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's coming next.